Gracias, Carmen. Sí, muy buenas tardes, queridos jóvenes. Para quienes no me conocen, soy el doctor Ramiro Salas, gran canciller de la Corporación Educativa San Ignacio Loyola. Y seguramente muchos todavía recuerdan que yo he tenido el privilegio aquí en nuestra universidad hace 20 años de organizar el área internacional y fui el primer director internacional, luego decano, luego vicerrector, luego rector durante 8 años y ahora tengo el privilegio de, como gran canciller, desarrollar todas las orientaciones de carácter estratégica de nuestra universidad y de nuestra corporación, ¿no? Y a Carmen Zelaya quiero darle la más cordial bienvenida al Perú. Ella es una ciudadana peruano-canadiense que vive más de 40 años en Canadá, pero el corazón peruano siempre la trae aquí al Perú. Tuve ocasión de conocerla hace un año, donde trajo una serie de conferencias sumamente interesantes que vi la oportunidad de aquí en nuestra universidad poder replicar a través del uso precisamente de las actuales herramientas como es la virtualidad para poder conectarnos de donde estemos en cualquier lugar del mundo. Y esta misma conferencia se dio hace unos días en la Cámara de Comercio de Lima, de donde hasta hace poco fui el presidente, y consideré que era sumamente interesante que nuestros alumnos de la Universidad San Ignacio de Loyola, nuestros profesores, pudieran conocer estas tendencias de lo que es la aplicación de la inteligencia artificial. Es una evolución y un desarrollo que ya no podemos desconocer de ninguna forma, muy por el contrario, tenemos que acostumbrarnos a que la inteligencia artificial forma parte de nuestra vida cotidiana, profesional, y saberla utilizar en la forma más adecuada para que la inteligencia humana sea mucho más productiva a través de la inteligencia artificial. En otras palabras, es una forma de crear una nueva oportunidad de gestionar trabajos, de gestionar formas de comunicación y, por supuesto, de crear las oportunidades para diferentes nuevos, puntuales trabajos que en un futuro muy cercano se va a tener que realizar, ¿no? Ustedes saben, muchos hablamos, y también ustedes deben conocer, muchos hablamos del Día de la Singularidad, ¿no? El Día de la Singularidad es en realidad el día en que se dice, ¿no?, que se va a crear una computadora que es mucho más inteligente que el cerebro humano, ¿no? Con lo cual va a ser mucho más posible dar no solamente instrucciones, sino también analizar. La capacidad de análisis y de síntesis de una computadora hoy ya quantum es de enorme trascendencia para el mundo profesional. Como ustedes saben, por ejemplo, en algunas profesiones, como el caso de los abogados, ¿no?, sabemos que ya utilizan la famosa computadora Watson, ¿no?, donde se ha archivado los miles de millones de casos que en el mundo se utilizan a través de los abogados. Y esos datos archivados de los casos de jurisprudencia que existen en el mundo, archivados en la quantum de Watson, ¿no?, allí un abogado puede decir, para el caso que estoy siguiendo, cómo se ha abordado en el mundo un caso similar y cómo se ha procedido. Y Watson se lo dice. En otras palabras, está habiendo pues una participación directa de la capacidad de síntesis mecánica creada por la inteligencia humana, que la inteligencia artificial la tiene que utilizar. Entonces, desde ese punto de vista, estas informaciones que seguramente van a ser de enorme importancia que ustedes van a tener el día de hoy, estoy seguro que va a ser un estímulo para adentrarse cada vez más sobre este tema. Los distinguidos participantes como ponentes de las diversas universidades de Canadá, de Estados Unidos, de España, ¿no? Estoy seguro que van a traer mucha información que forma parte de ese aspecto y de ese espectro que tenemos que tener los nuevos profesionales que el mundo necesita. Estamos estudiando en una universidad comprometida con el mundo. Por eso ustedes deben de saber que hemos creado una red de conexiones globales que nos permiten durante nuestra carrera estar en muchas partes del mundo, porque nuestro hogar es el mundo y el lugar donde nos vamos a mover es el mundo. Nuestro país, nuestro querido país al cual aportaremos siempre, pero es parte de ese mundo en el cual nos vamos a mover. Querida Carmen, agradezco mucho que nos haya aceptado estar en nuestra universidad el día de hoy. La empresa Overseas Frontiers, por supuesto, que hace honor a su nombre, ¿no? Y yo le agradezco mucho que nos haya visitado hoy día y que haya visto la posibilidad de tan distinguidos participantes de las universidades socias puedan hoy día pues departir con nuestros jóvenes estudiantes y profesores sus conocimientos y con eso crear una base sólida para un estímulo de desarrollo y poder cada vez ver el mundo de otra manera. Muchas gracias. Bien.
Muchas gracias, doctor Ramiro. Gracias por esas palabras. Realmente son inspiradoras para los jóvenes, ustedes que son el futuro del Perú. Así que aprovechen estas oportunidades de tener aquí con ustedes profesionales que trabajan en esta área, ¿no? En el área de inteligencia artificial y con tecnologías innovadoras. Bueno, gracias también por haber permitido que nosotros, Overseas Frontiers, que es una agencia de intercambio que opera ya más de como 11 años, ¿no? Trabajando con varios países, podamos haber traído esta conferencia para ustedes. Bueno, entonces ahora ya no nos detendremos más, ya podemos llamar a nuestro primer invitado, que sería el doctor Sebastián de la Universidad de Francia, DSTI.
Thank you very much. I'm Sébastien Cornéglion. I am the CEO and the Dean and the co-founder of the STI School of Engineering. Thank you, Carmen, for the invitation, and thank you, everyone, for listening to me. I'll try to give you a summarized presentation of what we do. So I am currently in the south of France on the French Riviera, near Nice. In my home, it's a bit later for me in the night, but I'll be happy to try and introduce what we do. So we are an institution that's been founded in 2015. I am myself a data engineer from I would say the first phase of my professional experience, even if I still carry on my duty of an engineer at DSTI and also via teaching. And I've been in academia for more than 15, almost 20 years now. First in a French public university, which I left then to create DSTI. So we specialized exclusively in computer science engineering, particularly applied to all manners of data analytics, engineering, data science, and AI, and cybersecurity. So let me give you a little bit of background on the school, and then also we're going to talk about the programs and how we try to combine what's really basically written on this slide here, rigor in academic content, and also try to keep fuel for innovation in AI, or I would say information systems. Yes?
Sebastian, can I ask the people in the auditorium if they need translation? Because I'm not sure if they are familiar with English. Let me see. Sí. Levanten la mano, por favor, quien está entendiendo, quien entiende el inglés. Ok. 90%. Ok, everybody. No, don't worry, Sebastian. Everybody here is understand English. Perfect. You can go ahead.
Thank you. I'll speak slow enough. I'll try and do my best. I apologize for probably have a little bit of a strange accent because I am French, but I've been educated in the United Kingdom and in Scotland in particular. So my accent is a little bit of a mix, but I'll try to keep it as well pronounced as I can do it. For those who are maybe not, I'm sure everyone knows about Paris, but for those who are maybe less familiar with the southeast of France and what we call the French Riviera, which is right beside the border of Italy, Spain being, of course, on the other side. The French Riviera hosts Europe's largest science and technology park. The park is called Sophia Antipolis. It's home to an ecosystem of education and secondary as well, and higher education, public and private research, French, European, and world multinational companies. It's very often called the Silicon Valley of Europe. It's maybe less known than the Silicon Valley, but it's still rather quite important. It hosts about a little bit more than 50,000 jobs, most of them being master's level or PhD level, advanced engineering and research. Is historically in telecom, electronics, and computer science and engineering. But as you probably know, the telecom and electronics industries have moved away from Europe and also from North America, essentially to Asia. So today the park is really focused on computer applications and particularly AI. And we're going to see also the place of France in the game, in the international competition of AI and cybersecurity. It's a very pleasant environment, particularly when you're an international student or researcher or engineer, to be in a place where English tends to be the norm, more so than French. Most companies and institutions here operate in English, and also it combines with the natural beauty of the French Riviera, with the Mediterranean Sea and the beginning of the Alps. So we have, like California, we have the privilege of having also a rather unique geography, which makes lifestyle rather pleasant. Paris, I mean, I don't probably need to introduce Paris to many people across the world. We are located in the heart of the city, in the historical student area of Paris called the Latin Quarter, with reference to the Latin language. For those who watch Netflix, it's also, our campus is 800 meters from the square of Emily in Paris, which has been made famous now. So it's a very different lifestyle, it's very urban, and it offers, of course, all the facilities of an international capital. One of the first thing I would say, before even talking about the programs and what we do for educating our students in AI and cybersecurity, is the way also the school operates. Everyone, of course, is used to hybrid and online, and on-site presentations and meetings and classrooms, particularly after the COVID pandemic. But we started this from the beginning. It's something that has made us also rather unique to have this permanent connection between the campuses to make to give the ability to our students to be on campus, to follow live, of course, within compatible time zones. With Peru, for example, it would be a little bit more complex time-wise. And because we live stream, of course, we record everything and we have asynchronous education offer. But beyond the technology and the capacity, as you can see, in 2019, from a student studying live stream from home in a very comfortable and immersive environment. This was before we talked about, VR or AR headsets, etc. Here I'm going to share you my experience as an engineer. When I started my career in this field in data engineering 25 years ago, the need for being educated, or at least to be used from a very young age as a student, to work across multiple sites remotely with all the necessary technology. And it's not just opening a Zoom or opening a Teams. It's also getting used to work in this hybrid mode and all the other tools of an information system that goes with it. Being mixed also with a vast multinational and multicultural environment. That's something that might seem easy, but it is not. But it's also part of innovation. Innovation is rarely created, all by your own in a single location, in a single country, with a single nationality and, culture. It has to come via a mix. And I suppose that's why, the large players such as the United States of America have been so successful. It's because also of the cultural mix that it creates. And technology, and particularly deploying this kind of technological platform in education, also creates an environment and a learning experience which allows more agile people in deploying innovation. That being said, very often I'm being asked, but how do you control this? If you have students all across the world, particularly when we talk about our live students, we have people in the south of France, we have people in the Paris campus, we have people all over France, all over Europe, all over Africa and the Middle East, when they are live streaming. How do you organize exams? How do you control the validity? How do you handle cheating, etc.? And here, AI has also come both as a challenge. I heard the previous presentation, and we were talking about the challenges of AI in education, and how do you integrate and how do you handle the fact that, of course, students are going to use platforms of generative AI such as ChatGPT to do their homework and their assignment, and then you ask yourself, how do they learn? So this is an unsolved question today. I believe all serious education institutions are actively working on the subject. On one side, you cannot remove the tools because you can never remove technology, and on the other side you want to make sure that this technology doesn't prevent the learning curve. And we can also use AI to do interesting matters in terms of quality control, such as proctoring. Proctoring an exam at a large scale across multi points of the world, where some people take an exam in a classroom and some people take an exam at home. How do you ensure that everything is controlled? Well, computer vision, AI-assisted proctoring has now also come to the equation to try and to help, at least, making sure that an examination is taken in the right and correct environment, as a simple example. Now, I need to say a little few words about France. We are very far away geographically, and France maybe is not always the country that comes to your mind when we talk about technology in general, and when we talk about AI and cybersecurity in particular. You probably think of France for luxury, beauty, food, hospitality, etc. Although I do have a preference for Latin American food, even if I'm French. But that being said, France has a multi-century history of excellence in mathematics, both at research and application. And the proof is very simple. France is the second country in terms of numbers of fields medal, the so-called Nobel Prize of mathematics. The government in 2020 started a national initiative for AI research, education, and application across the country, which we are part of. I must say that AI is first and foremost, and allow me to say, AI is mathematics. Without mathematics, research and application, there is no artificial intelligence. So in that respect, France is a remarkable choice of a country to make sure that you can learn top-level mathematical research and application for artificial intelligence. The second point is cyber, but the reason why France is a good choice for cyber is because of the international obligation of the country. Nuclear power, civil and military. And I must say that France is independent in terms of nuclear. We don't rely on the United States for this. This brings obligations, and particularly cybersecurity obligations. You cannot have this kind of technology without cybersecurity. There is also permanent security seat, permanent seat of the Security Council of the United Nations. This brings also a set of obligations, and the industrial complex associated to military makes France the second arms exporter in the world after the United States. And again, this brings AI and cybersecurity. France has more multinational companies than the United Kingdom or Canada. Consequently, we have a massively export-driven economy. The size of France, or even the EU, is too small. So we need to export, and some of the names that you see here, when you go in an Airbus aircraft, I know it's a European project, but it's essentially driven from Toulouse, from the Spanish border side of France, and many others, including the brands that you know very well, like L'Oréal. They need tech, they need data, they need AI, they need cybersecurity for their operations in France, but also all across the world. Choosing France as a study destination doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to work in France. You could be working for any of these large multinational companies in Mexico, in Bogota, and I think Lima has also got a few French subsidiary in deployments. But in Latin America, it's true that it's very often Mexico or Brazil. But anyhow, you have also a whole world that opens to you of the deployment of French technology across the planet. Now, what do? We've made a choice to be very focused, to have only one bachelor, and I'm going to tell you why, to have master's program in all the main jobs and the main profiles of data and cyber. So data science being the most mathematically driven, the ones who create the algorithm, the model, the statistical processes of preparing data sets, etc. Data engineers, like myself, who are the architects of integrating the science into information system, software, and applications, so deploying AI, data analytics, which is the decision-making process. It's using these tools to assist decision makers in their daily life and their daily activities. But in cybersecurity, which of course is the job that I always need to describe, the less, because even if you're not an expert, everyone understands that information systems are open, connected, and need to be defended. Why do we have only one bachelor? And I suppose this is where our French roots, are, even if we operate the school entirely in English, everything is taught in English, the school administration, events, etc., everything operates in English. But we decided to have this unique bachelor because we believe that before reaching a level of specialization, students should not have the choice between the more applied mathematics branch that is computer science and the technological branch, which is computer engineering. In our point of view, these two foundations, these 2 feet and these 2 legs are necessary to learn how to walk, and then students can construct their specialization if they want to. Of course, the bachelor programs goes towards AI in its computer science aspects and goes towards cybersecurity and its engineering aspects. But nonetheless, we insist on having both legs again being there. And then one thing that makes us also a little bit different, when we created DSTI a little bit than 10 years ago, we were exclusively a graduate school, only MSc programs, but MScs for mature students, for people who were in their 30s or more. And we graduated hundreds and hundreds of students that way in what we call today our executive education. So again, these people were not necessarily these students, and now our alumni were not necessarily, the young software engineers, the young software developers, the young database administrators, and so on, who would start their career because they had already started their career. They were people who were already leading teams and fostering innovation in their companies, but they needed to catch up on subjects that they maybe didn't see formally at school or were coming new to them in their professional activities. So this is the historical DNA of DSTI. We basically created DSTI from here, downwards to the bachelor level. And now we have also a postgraduate program with our partner here. This is the oldest industrial engineering school in France. It was created before the French Revolution a few centuries ago. And it's a PG program for people who have a master's level in industrial engineering and want to learn how to apply AI for smart industry, Industry 4.0. Focus is important. academic content and rigor is important, but we also, from the beginning, integrated something that, for me, I don't know if you can call that innovation, but at least I call it professionalism. How do we make sure that our students, regardless of their profile, if they are fresh bachelor graduates, fresh postgrads, or executive education, how do we make sure that beyond their academical foundation, they have operational knowledge? Now, some people might think of capstone projects. France has also something very interesting is at the end of every study cycle, you have to do a mandatory 6 months internship and a paid internship, which is part of your academic evaluation. It's part of your transcript of grades. This is embedded in the job market in France. It's normal to do an end of studies internship. That gives also a quicker connection to the reality and eventually to innovation. But how do we make sure that our students are job market ready? Well, for us, there was only one way. It needs to be us and others. And these others, they can be no less than the generator of innovation. They're not all there, okay, because I couldn't put them all in one slide. But every single of our program at every level prepares formally for the examination of external professional certification exams. To give you an example, I am a certified AWS Academy instructor and Amazon AWS. So every year, our students have to take one certification exam and pass in order to go to next year and eventually graduate. This has been a key factor of accelerating employability,
Hello.
accelerating readiness. Yes.
Hello, Sebastian. Sorry, interrupt you. Our time is almost. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, wrap the presentation. If you have some minutes for that, would be nice.
I've literally just finished. So this is how we've done it, and this is how we keep doing it. I'm just gonna go here to close. I'll come back to the internationalization. Beyond technology, again, I repeat, it's very important. You have the data from DSTI. You know, I'm an engineer, I like data. This is 2018 to 2025. These are all the nationalities that are present across our student body. And also amongst the staff, we have a very internationalized staff. Thank you very much. I hope maybe one day to see you within either the virtual or the physical wall of the STI. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you very much. And I wish you a very pleasant rest of the day.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you.
We are going to introduce you now a school from Spain. And also, I wanted to let you know that all the schools that are invited today here are doing internship project collaboration between USIL and those schools. I don't know if you hear me well, but lo voy a decir en español. Las universidades que hemos invitado hoy están haciendo acuerdos de colaboración con la USIL para que ustedes tengan intercambio. ¿Ya? Bueno, muchas gracias. Ahora vamos a invitar a la escuela, que es la próxima de España, con Gloria. Vamos a ver si ya están. ¿Podríamos, por favor, colocar a nuestra próxima invitada de España? ICEDU es el nombre de la escuela. Ellos tienen un programa fantástico de en una escuela de startup, ¿ok? Adelante.
Buenas
Pueden
noches.
compartir pantalla también.
Pantalla, exacto. Gracias, Carmen.
Buenas noches a todos. Mientras, Gloria, ¿tú vas a compartir la pantalla?
No, dale tú.
Sí, sí, pueden compartir.
Ok, permíteme. No sé si ahí ya la están viendo.
Ya, ahora sí.
Sí, ya las estamos viendo. Sí, perfecto.
Carmen, perdóname, ¿cuánto tiempo tenemos aquí?
Bueno, para todos les estoy dando 20 minutos, así
Ok.
que si
Exacto,
comenzamos
sí.
ya,
Sí, exacto.
acabaremos a tiempo. Ujú.
Bueno, primero que todo, gracias a todos por estar aquí en esta presentación. Para nosotros es un honor precisamente presentarles este programa, Startup, el Paneuropeo Startup School. Nosotros somos ICEDU, International Council of Education, y uno de nuestros programas precisamente que estamos lanzando hace poco, ya desde México se está lanzando, es un programa bastante interesante porque es un programa internacional de un año, donde los estudiantes van a desarrollar su propio startup mientras recorren diferentes hubs tecnológicos de Europa. Adriana, si quieres complementar algo y aquí seguimos.
Bueno, antes de seguir, les vamos a hablar un poco sobre el destino al que ustedes van a llegar. Si quieren vivir una experiencia internacional que los prepare para el futuro, ese es el sitio para estar. Son carreras de formación profesional y tenemos, que son carreras técnicas de 2 años. Tenemos 5 programas interesantes que ya les vamos a hacer en este corto tiempo, un viaje por los 5 programas. Pero básicamente lo que quiero que se queden es con Bilbao, que es el destino al que ustedes van a llegar, una ciudad donde hay mucho trabajo para los estudiantes, donde hay posibilidad de que puedan ahorrar, capitalizarse en euros y empezar a ahorrar para que ustedes mismos se financien las carreras. Entonces, básicamente es un destino donde hay trabajo, es una ciudad abierta con muchas oportunidades laborales y bueno, entonces básicamente eso es lo que quiero que tengan en cuenta. Pueden trabajar 30 horas de permiso de trabajo. Bueno, vamos a seguir aquí un poquito para hacerles
Este primer año
un
se llama
resumen.
Work and Study, es como el salto que van a dar ustedes precisamente para poder llegar a España. Por lo general, para llegar a España, para cualquier carrera técnica profesional o para cualquier carrera universitaria, ustedes solamente se puede llegar una sola vez en el año, que es por lo general en septiembre. Aquí que nosotros hicimos el Work and Study, precisamente como les está comentando Adriana, donde es un título en arte, tecnología y negocios. Aquí se está manejando, son microcredenciales que se manejan por bloques y precisamente empiezan en septiembre, pero necesariamente si no logran llegar en esta fecha, van a tener Intex cada 2 meses. Pues, van a poder entrar cada 2 meses. Entonces es una manera como más rápida, más fácil, más económica y aparte de eso van a tener la oportunidad de empezar a trabajar y no van y van a empezar a trabajar y van a pensar es en euros, no desafortunadamente no en las monedas de nosotros, que es lo que nosotros a veces nos frustra de alguna manera. Perdón.
A ver, yo como sigo complementando acá, ya que tenemos un tiempo muy corto. Este es un año que va a servir para todos los estudiantes que quieran llegar a España. Se hace a través de 6 módulos como les dice Gloria, combinan arte, tecnología y negocios. Cada microcredencial dura 2 meses. Van a estudiar de lunes a jueves, de 5 de la tarde a 9 de la noche para que les quede todo el día y todo el fin de semana libre para poder trabajar. Entonces, básicamente se llama el de Work and Study porque ustedes se van a financiar, van a ahorrar y van a seguir estudiando, y pues digamos que pueden aquí seguir haciendo lo que ustedes quieran, ya sea que ahorraron para poderse ir por todo Europa a pasear, ahorraron para seguir estudiando en España, ahorraron para seguir estudiando cualquier carrera que ustedes quieran o simplemente para devolverse a su país de origen. Entonces, eso es un año flexible donde tienen 6 entradas durante el año. Es muy interesante y básicamente es para, digamos, es lo que está en tendencia, es lo que la industria local de Bilbao en este momento está pidiendo a estudiantes que sepan de estas asignaturas para poderles dar trabajo rápido. Entonces, básicamente es marketing digital, análisis de datos, toda la parte de interiorismo comercial mezclado con fotografía, diseño gráfico y desarrollo de videojuegos. Todas estas microcredenciales básicamente están hechas para crear campañas impactantes, transformar puntos de venta en espacios funcionales, que ustedes puedan poder vender cualquier servicio, cualquier producto con inteligencia artificial y todo lo que implica estas asignaturas. Ya el segundo año, si ustedes quieren seguir trabajando, estudiando con nosotros, este es el segundo programa, que son las carreras de formación profesional, que son carreras técnicas de 2 años. En este momento tenemos, son 3 carreras que están en, digamos, en la familia de las artes, que son ilustración digital, diseño de interiores y gráfica publicitaria. Ustedes aquí salen con un título oficial que es válido no solo en España, sino en cualquier parte, cualquier país de la Unión Europea. Y lo más importante es que van a tener la posibilidad de hacer prácticas profesionales con las que se pueden quedar enganchados. En este momento tenemos una tasa de colocación bastante alta, donde los estudiantes, por ejemplo, que quieren estudiar diseño de interiores, el 100% tienen trabajo y tienen pues un permiso de trabajo que les permite cambiar digamos que la visa de estudiante por una residencia de trabajo y ya que se puedan quedar en España sin problema. Y en cuestión de 2 años poder empezar, digamos, todo el proceso de nacionalidad española, que es lo más interesante de poder estar en España. Este sería el tercer programa, que es para aquellos estudiantes que tienen un perfil un poco más maduro, que ya estudiaron carrera, que ya tienen experiencia, que les gusta la tecnología y básicamente es una especialización que dura un año. Aquí también pueden trabajar las mismas 30 horas y digamos que básicamente es enfocado a tecnología. Lo único que se les pide es que tengan conocimiento de un B1 en inglés porque todo su contenido es en inglés.
Cada bloque que está mencionando ahí Adriana, dependiendo de la carrera que ustedes tengan, si se quieren proyectar en la parte de tecnología o en la parte de negocios o en la parte de realización de programación y páginas web, dependiendo del bloque que ustedes escojan, entonces hacia allá va dirigido. Es bastante interesante y sobre todo esa oportunidad que van a poder también trabajar en este año.
Bueno, este es el paneuropeo, que les iniciamos hablándoles un poco de este programa. Es un multicampus, es un viaje alrededor de 6 diferentes países de Europa que contienen el hub de tecnología más sobresaliente en cada país. Entonces, básicamente es un viaje, pero con propósito porque los estudiantes tienen el compromiso de estar trabajando en cierta cantidad de horas para la formación de su propio emprendimiento, de su propia startup. Entonces, la idea es que ustedes puedan dejar esto listo en España. Es bastante interesante porque digamos que en cada ciudad de las que ustedes ven acá, cada ruta, digamos que tiene una microcredencial diferente para enseñarles. Al final lo que hacen es que se hace el elevator pitch o digamos, el estilo Shark Tank, donde ustedes ante un panel de empresarios presentan su idea de negocio y si esta gusta y es viable financieramente, estructuralmente, digamos que ya está lista, a ustedes los pueden subvencionar entre 5.000 euros a 10.000 euros. Entonces es algo bastante interesante. Cada ciudad tiene algo, como les decía, para, para aprender. Entonces, digamos que la ruta empieza en Bilbao. Ahí empieza toda la parte de business, del startup and entrepreneurship. Perdóname un segundo, perdón, Gloria. Después pasan a Lisboa, donde es toda la parte del centro tecnológico digital. Ahí van a trabajar esa microcredencial de marketing digital. Ahí trabajan con sus primeros clientes. Después van a pasar a un bootcamp en Gibraltar, donde digamos que toda la capital mundial de economía financiera, bitcoins, licencias, criptomonedas, etcétera. De ahí pasarían a Múnich, donde van a trabajar toda la parte de análisis financiero de su startup, donde van a estructurar el negocio, donde van a trabajar toda la parte de análisis de datos. Y en este punto ya digamos que ya está consolidado como tal el proyecto. De ahí pasaríamos a Bucarest, donde se va a trabajar toda la parte de branding, comunicación, publicidad, diseño digital, donde vamos a estructurar toda la parte de imagen corporativa de la startup. Y de nuevo ya llegarían a la península ibérica. Antes de esto vamos a estar una semana en Andorra, que es esa ciudad donde tiene toda la estrategia de comunicación, creación de contenido, redes sociales, social media, donde están todos los youtubers haciendo la parte de contenido de creación de contenido. Y finalmente van a volver a Bilbao. No sé si aquí, bueno, digamos que cuando ya vuelven a Bilbao, hay una serie de técnicos, dependiendo del tipo de negocio que ustedes tengan en mente, que los van a ir ayudando a trabajar toda esta parte técnica para saber exactamente qué es lo que van a formar, qué tipo de empresa van a formar. Entonces es un programa donde van a conocer un montón de Europa, pero básicamente están viajando para la creación de su propia idea de negocio o su propia startup. Entonces, esto es muy interesante. Esto empieza en octubre. Aquí sí necesitamos que los estudiantes sepan inglés. Es una ruta que está totalmente en inglés. Bueno, básicamente es esto. No sé cuánto tiempo nos queda, Carmen, pero este ya sería el último programa.
Sí, perfecto. Han terminado ya a tiempo. Tenemos ahora, ya vamos a comenzar entonces la próxima reunión.
Antes de
Si
terminar,
tienes algo para
discúlpame,
cerrar,
Carmen.
sí,
Sí, sí,
te doy
sí.
unos minutos para cerrar. Sí,
Perfecto.
adelante.
Básicamente esta es la escuela de verano de Vizcaya, que también es para aquellos estudiantes que quieren vivir la experiencia España, pero en un tiempo muy corto. Son solo 3 semanas donde ustedes van a España, miran si les gusta, van a trabajar una microcredencial que dura 3 semanas. Hay varias: marketing digital, creación de empresa, innovación, análisis de datos. Hay un diplomado muy interesante en competencias gerenciales. Entonces, básicamente, ustedes van a tener absolutamente aquí, bueno, el alojamiento, comidas incluidas. Son 3 semanas, pero digamos que es un tiempo corto, pero donde van a hacer unos cursos bastante rigurosos. Y si ya quieren seguir estudiando con nosotros, por supuesto, tienen créditos académicos que pueden servirles para seguir en España. Entonces, muchas gracias por su tiempo y bueno, podemos seguir en contacto cuando quieran después de la feria.
Muchas gracias. Un minuto. Gracias, Gloria. Gracias, Adriana.
Con mucho
Carmen.
gusto. Gracias, Carmen.
Ok, justamente esta escuela de España también está haciendo acuerdo con la USIL para poder ofrecerles este proyecto de startup a ustedes y otros programas que ellos ofrecen que son de corta duración o los otros profesionalizantes de técnicos que This university is located in Ontario, 3 or 4 hours more or less from Toronto, and they are specialized in engineering programs and mining, okay? They are the best in mining programs, in masters.
Can you see my PowerPoint now?
Also other programs as well. No, we cannot see your presentation yet. Let me check the technical people here.
I
Oh, yes.
shared.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You can talk about your school. Thank you.
All right. Can you see it? It's all good?
Yes, all good.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Carmen, organizing the session. Hello, everyone, and good evening. This is Xuan speaking from Laurentian University. We're located in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. Okay. So the screen you see now is our campus, very beautiful. And as Carmen said, our location is in Sudbury. So Any of you just use your cell phone, Google Sudbury mining, you will find that we are famous in the mining sector. So our location, we are about 3.5 hours away from Toronto by car. If you fly, it's about by 45 minutes. Okay. So location-wise, we're medium-sized city and very comfortable, and we are not far away from big city, and also we are not a small town. It's a medium-sized city. So that's showing geographically where we're located. Okay, so from Toronto, 4.5 hours by bus, and to Ottawa is about 6 hours by bus, and the flight is a half hour, 45 minutes, and to Ottawa is about 1 hour to Ottawa. Okay, so that's give you the location. The city now has about 190,000 people living in Sudbury. So, you know, Canada, the whole country only have 40 million people. So we are close to 200,000 now. It's actually a medium-sized city. And then, so that's give you, you've already heard about Sudbury is very famous in the mining industry. So the city has been established more than 100 years ago. It's called Sudbury Basin. So it has a different mining activity going on here, such as nickel mine, copper mine, also all the different high pressure mine. Because of location mining, that's make Laurentian famous in the mining industry. Okay, so this give you the understanding how big our mining industry is. First of all, we talk about numbers. Okay, so by numbers, we are produce 15 billion kgs of copper to date. And then about 50% of the cross output of Ontario mining. So the whole Ontario, Sudbury, more than 50% by the production, and 20 billion kg of nickel to date. So, and 1 trillion export ore. So that's give you the number wise, showing how large the industry is in Sudbury. And then let's give you some of the mining activities in the greater Sudbury area. The supply chain is nearby, so showing the scale of the industry. So then the industry, that's including the mining production, and that is the concentrating the mine and extract the mine from the underground, basically the nickel bare feed and the recycling material, and then going to the middle stream, that is become refined and then provision and production, and then become eventual good manufacturing, such as batteries, electric cars. Right now, you know, the nickel mine is the must-have material for the electric car, the battery, and for your phone, right? Phone battery, for example. So that's where Laurentian is called Canada Mining University, because since the university established 66 years ago, one of our research innovation is focused on the mining cycle. So the university has 3 schools designed for this purpose. First one is BAT School of Engineering. So we are the one training the engineers. And the Goodman School of Mining, we're the one training the mining expert. And also Harvard School of Earth Science, we're the one training the geologist, right? And how that work? For example, we have 4 research centers. That's a focus on from the research and health safety and the intersphere science, and also to the multidisciplinary research and in the monitoring the situation, and also become the occupational health safety, and also all the way to combine the academic and professional, right? So that's the research centers we have at Laurentian University that contributes to the mining research cycle in Sudbury. So now back to the Laurentian University. So we are public university, and we offer from undergrad to graduate and to PhD program. We are also a bilingual university. I understand many of you are bilingual people here. You speak English, you speak Spanish, maybe Portuguese. And now in Canada, our language, official language is English and French. So as a bilingual university, we offer program both in English and in French. And then 71 is undergraduate and 46 is graduate level. So in Canada, we only have close to 100 university-ish, and the majority public. So if a university offer undergrad, grad, and a PhD, that is a comprehensive university. So in the program, we offer from arts to business to science, biology, to engineering, architecture, and all the way to education and health. So here today, we are focused on mining related, but we also have some another non-mining related, such as you can study computer science, you can study nursing, social work, law and justice, economics, right? And also any another program like pharmaceutical chemistry. Those are non-mining related program. You can also study with us. Here is the mining related for undergraduate. First of all, earth science, engineering, that's including chemical, mining, mechanic. Laurentian mining engineering was the global ranking 28 in the world. So we're not the best in Canada, we are the best in the world. Okay, that's showing our expertise. And also environmental study. You know, like where have a mining, you have pollution. Then when you have a pollution, you need to think about the environmental, right? So Laurentian also offer environmental study, not just how to treat the stress of water or the pollution to the air, to the soil. It's about regulation. It's about policies. It's about relations, right? It's about everything combined. So we call it environmental study. And of course, biology, we have those like labs, right? And the business, we're gonna offer program into like for example, when you do business in the mining industry, what I mean, right? That's including in relation with the indigenous and the marketing of the mining sector, right? So chemical science, of course, and indigenous study, because Canada, many of the land belong to the Aboriginal people, so the First Nation. That's where indigenous study in relations becomes so important for university. That's why we're bilingual triculture. And then I understand you're in the university, so if you are now studying undergraduate program, you could consider transfer as an undergrad to undergrad. So many programs offer transfer credit. That's give you a broad idea what the tuition looks like for undergraduate program. So most programs about $30,000 Canadian is for 1 year and 10 courses. And then engineering are more expensive because the program is a accredited program require taking 36 credit for every year up to 4 years, right? So tuition will say close to $40,000 for engineering program. Okay, so business about 32 and the computer science about 31. This is based on the number of credit, 10 to 12 courses. Okay, we offer the most generous scholarship for the student to consider to study. So the scholarship is based on your GPA. If you are from high school, your high school GPA from university transfer, if you have 80% Canadian GPA, you receive $10,000 scholarship. Then that's give you an idea is about 1/3 of a tuition fee can be exempt if a GPA is good. If you have a Canadian 90%, that's will be receive $15,000 scholarship. That's some program is half of tuition fee is paid off by the scholarship. It's renewable if you maintain the GPA. All right. So, and that's what undergraduate. So now let's talk about the graduate program that's been more attractive. So those are the program we offer for students. It's related to mining industry, such as MBA, chemical science, engineering science, geology, and the geology, the mineral exploration, human kinetics, indigenous relation, interdisciplinary science, natural resource engineering, and the science communication, right? So that is related to the mining, but you can study program, but you don't have to study in the mining industry neither, all right? So this is a doctorate degree program. So if you are doing your master's in your university, you could consider apply to the doctorate degree program. So doctorate degree program, you can see we are very strong in the science field and the healthcare field, such as material science, mineral deposit, and the raw and the northern health, biomedical science, you know. Those are the PhD programs we offer for students. All right, so I'm gonna go into a few programs that maybe you may be interested in to consider studying in Canada after your undergraduate 4-year degree. So the number one popular program is our Master of Engineering Science. So this program is offered to student who has an undergrad degree in engineering. Okay, then if your engineering is in any of the fields such as chemical, civil engineering, electrical engineering, geological engineering, mechatronic, you can name it on the PowerPoint. You can say the mining engineering, of course. Then you apply to our Master of Engineering. You do not have to say which one you want to study. You just apply to. Then when you come to Laurentian, you can start to decide what specialization you want to focus on. For example, you already have a mining engineering from your home university. When you come to master, do you want to study another mining engineering at the master level? Yes and no. You might want to focus on the heavy-duty mining mechanic engineering. So, because when you study mining engineering and when you go to underground, related mechanic is different. You're dealing with heavy-duty machine, right? So you're working in the different condition with a high temperature and high pressure and underground, and also then the maintenance or the operation can be different, production can be different. So you might want to specialize in mechanic mining engineering, okay? And another side, if you study the civil engineering or mechanical engineering in your home university or some another engineering, but you want to have a job in Canada in the mining industry, so you can actually specialize in the mining engineering. So the program is very, very flexible. You can customize it depending on which one you really like to. So the program has a total 10 courses, okay? So then in the 10 courses, you are able to study 4 from the undergraduate level. How that work? Because when you want to switch your focus from mechanic to mining, you do not have some of those knowledge. You might have lots of engineering knowledge, but you do not have the engineering in the mining. So such as ventilation, maybe something new to you, right? Or some such like a something with the house safety, something new for you, right? Then you can study undergraduate courses in the 3rd year and the 4th year. So you're going to take undergraduate course up to 4 courses, build up the knowledge as a bridge. Then you can now go to master, study deeper. So then when you're finishing, you already have undergrad degree in mechanic and a master in mining. So that's able to you found a job in the different field, right? So that's what we always tell the student, study something that can boost your knowledge, okay? So admission requirement is quite standardized, an engineering degree with a GPA B average, okay? B average is mean 2 out of 4. If you want to understand if you're eligible, you can give your resume to Carmen, and Carmen has my connection. I can help you do a pre-assessment if you're interested. I'm not sure. And another best of advantage for the program is the tuition is the most affordable in Canada. So the whole program is only $32,000. Okay? So if you are aware of some another institution, you study a college diploma, they have more tuition than the master program. Okay? So that's the most affordable. And the program is 2 years of a master, but with the flexibility, you can finish it as quick as 12 months or 16 months or 20 months or 2 years. Because we have 3 semesters a year, each semester you can take as little as 1 course up to 4 courses. So for some students, they are very strong. They want to get done. That's it. Then they can take 4, 4, 3. You're finished in 1 semester, in 1 year. Some students, I will take some time. You can take 2, 2, 2, 2. Then you finish in 20 months, right? So if you do whenever you want, it's your decision. So you can take faster or you take it slower. So in the 2 year of time. If you were aware of in Canada, many students come study Canada for master because of there's an opportunity you can bring a spouse. If you have a spouse with you, you can bring a spouse. And also eligible up to 3 years postgraduate working permit. Means you can apply working permit, work 3 years in any jobs anywhere in Canada because it's open worker permit. Then you can build a Canadian working experience. Then you can go back to the home country, or you can stay in Canada if there's any pathway you're able to stay for longer, such as apply for your permanent residence. Okay, so that is the engineering program. Another one is a Master of Geology and Applied Mineral Exploration. So that's also another program is very attractive. So this program, an eligible student has a degree in earth science or similar, like can be geological engineering, can be geology, earth science. And if you have a working experience, great. If you don't have a working experience, it's okay too. So our program does not require working experience. You can directly apply from a university straight to the master program, but we would like to have you have some working experience that will be making you a more knowledgeable, apply your knowledge into the master, but we will train you if you don't have working experience. So these programs, it's a 2-year master as well. We call it accelerated option. You can finish in 12 months, but basically majority students need actually 16 months to 20 months to finish, because one of the semester you'll be working in the field. You're going to do the field work, okay? So same as they have 3 years of postgraduate work permit. And what the beauty is, the program only actually have 8 courses, okay? Tuition fee is lower too. It's lower than engineering. It's only $28,000 for the program. Okay, so 1 year is only less than $15,000 for your 1 year if you take your time to study. So the tuition fees associated with the credit. It means if you take one course, your tuition fee will be $2,800. Okay, if you take 2 courses, your tuition will be $5,600. Right? So for every semester. Okay, it's give you the ability to plan your financial accordingly. All right, so another popular program is the MBA, because some people say, oh, I already have an engineering degree, I already have a geology degree, I want to be a manager. So what's the missing for manager? Management knowledge. You need to understand how to read the cash flow, how to read the marketing report, how to manage your human resource, and how to manage your team, how to do such as risk assessment, return on investment, right? So those are the courses you need to study from the management program. So that's our MBA is the one program that can suitable those situations. The program is everybody with any degree you can apply, okay? So because it apply to everybody, and then also eligible 3 years PGWP, and then the tuition bit is something more expensive though. It's about from $43,000 up to $65,000, because they will give advanced standing for students who studied undergrad degree in business. For example, you already study accounting, finance, marketing in your undergraduate study. You do not need to repeat the course in the MBA. We'll give you exam up to 5 courses. That's what save $20,000 tuition fee. Okay, but if you do not have a degree in business, then you have to study the full MBA. Then the tuition fee will be total $65,000. And who can apply? If you have undergrad degree with a B average, okay, that's a requirement 1. Requirement 2, you need to have either 6 years working experience, or you need to have a GMAT 550. Okay, so that's mean make sure that you either bring experience in or you bring GMAT in. Okay, so that's something unique. That's the only program require standardized test is a GMAT. You can be exempt if you have 6 years working experience. Okay, so language requirement. So we asking IELTS 6.5. We're also asking Duolingo 120. This information is on the website. You can go to the website. You can Google Laurentian University English requirement for international student. You can see our language requirement. The standardized IELTS 6.5. And we also accept PTE. PTE will be 60 and the TOEFL 88. So we accept all the standardized tests. Okay. All right. So what jobs you can do after you finish? We have we also have lots of many another master program, but because the time is only very short, so I'm going to focus on something very attractive. But if you're interested in any another masters, talk to Carmen, and she will send me your resume and your transcript. I will be very happy to give you different recommendation if you have something you're interested in. I'm not mentioned here. So jobs. So we already mentioned number 1 employee is the mining industry. So there's 14,000 direct people working in the mining. So who can work in the mining? Engineers, okay, auto engineers, chemical science, health safety, management, right? Computer science. You can all work in those the mining sectors, right? There's more. And also there's about 300 mining supply available here. So I mentioned the number was big. There's a lot of jobs in the mining sector. All right. And on top of mining sector, there's a manufacturing and industry as well. So there's more companies in the manufacturing side because of the mining require those companies. Then you can work in the manufacturing side. You can work in the supply chain management, equipment management, machinery, and another mechanical related jobs as well. So you can work as a consulting. right? So you can work as a planner, right? So that's some jobs available as well. Environment, of course, you can become health safety. You can work in the government regulation. Because Sudbury is such a unique city that we are the expert in the field. And that's you can say 70 years ago. Nowadays, the city from the black soil, no trees, become all green. So that's where we're the leading institution in this field. You can also work in this industry as well. And then that is there's more another industry such as business, healthcare, and the government jobs. And why Laurentian University become very popular for the student. As an international student or domestic student, number one is you need to find a job. So Laurentian University, we are the highest postgraduate employee rate among all the universities in Ontario. And 92% found the job in 6 months and 98% found the job in about 2 years. So when students say, are you guaranteed for a job? So I cannot guarantee for your job, but I guarantee 92% people found a job. So I hope you are the 92% job in the 6 months. And also we have the highest salary as well. Okay. So how that work? So we did a survey. A survey is in Ontario. The average salary is $72,000, but the Sudbury is actually $76,000 in average because we have all say we have mine, we have money. So that's bring to my conclusion about Laurentian University, a true Canadian university that offer you the program of bilingual triculture from undergrad to master to PhD, and also in a beautiful environment, and also in a city that welcome newcomers, very supportive institution. And I also want to mention additional, as many international students, one of the goals is able to stay in Canada for permanent. So Sudbury is also RCIP, FCIP is like a rural community immigration pilot city. That's being said, there's additional pathway for the people who want to stay in Sudbury for long term. You're welcome to go to website, Google RCIP Sudbury. You will find more detailed information. So now I can open to the question to say who has some question. I will be very happy to answer the question you may have.
Thank you, Chuan. Right now, I guess that if somebody have a question, can you make it now for our speaker? And also, I'm just going to give you 5 minutes for questions and coffee because we are with a delay of 10 minutes more or less, and then we next speakers have to be on time, right? Our coffee break is going to be really fast. If you have some questions, you can do that now. And in the same time, we can do the coffee break as well. We have 5 or